V8 supercar racing and competing against some of the world's best touring car drivers, there's simply nothing like the world of Formula One.
It's the pinnacle of motorsport.
Growing up, it's where I wanted to be, dreaming of being an F1 driver. I'm Italian, so I love race cars, so I thought I'd be a shoe in a Ferrari. That never happened.
I don't think Australians know quite how lucky we are to have a round of the Formula One Championship in our own backyard.
And if you've never been, you need to come down. And the best thing about Formula One these days is you don't need earplugs.
The track at Albert Park is a classic European Grand Prix styled circuit. There's some fast and flowing stuff there. It absolutely fits a Formula One Grand Prix weekend. We are really lucky to have it, and the best part is you can drive on it for the other 50 weeks of the year.
The circuit's nice and wide, there's plenty of passing opportunities, but if you make a mistake, you pay the price.
Just like Caruso and I did last year.
No! Kelly and Caruso touching.
That was a little embarrassing.
We had a pretty good run there last year. The outside was really strong, qualifying on pole position for the very first time. Stoked about it.
And of course, it was the first pole position for Nissan in the V8 Supercars era.
We slipped back a little bit in the races, but we raced at the pointy end of the field, and that was important because it got me my first podium of the year.
It'll be interesting to see if Nissan can back up its performance from last year and get on the podium once more. No pressure then.
When I think of the Grand Prix, I think of a fast-flowing, really fun track to drive, and also it's close to home.
The Melbourne Grand Prix meeting coming up is really a favourite. I've driven there a number of times, from the 2 litre series way back to the Group A cars of the 80s. And this year we're there again, and I'm driving my HR31 Nissan, which I now own, which I won the 1990 championship in, and it's a track that I really, really love, and I'm excited to get back there.
The circuit itself is a very different track for us, and an opportunity to tune our cars for many different corners, change of direction, fast flowing corners, and of course some other things as well. Can't you just use that? Go on, just use that.
The Australian Grand Prix is one of the favourite events of the season. The track is one that I've enjoyed probably in the top 5 of Australian tracks over my career in motorsport. It's fast, it's flowing, and a really enjoyable place to get round.
It's hard to believe it's been 20 years since the first Formula One Grand Prix of the modern era at Albert Park in Melbourne. I can remember going to the first day of that first event. I didn't wag school, I had a no. I was sick, don't you know? I think my teachers really knew where I was going that day, but I'll never forget Michael Schumacher, first car out onto the track, the first year that he drove for Ferrari. The V8's on the track, of course Peter Brock was there as well, a young bloke called Craig Lowndes. Very, very different complex to how it looks now, but still that event really does hold its place on the Australian motorsport calendar.
Albert Park's one of those really strange tracks where you can walk across a golf course to go watch some racing. All I do know is that I love standing on the fence, and whether it's V8s or V6 turbos and F1 cars, it's a really good weekend.
This is the world stage. V8 Supercars is on display to the cream of Formula One, and they take notice. It's about one of the few support categories where, if they can, Formula One personnel actually stop what they're doing, go out of the pit wall and watch the V8s. They love the action and they love the sound. Well, why wouldn't they? Because Formula One cars sound like, you know, souped up vacuum cleaners these days.